In the quiet waters of the Red Sea, a powerful signal has just arrived. The USS Delbert D, an American guided missile destroyer, has docked in the Gulf of Aqaba, just south of Israel's port city of Eilat. On paper, the visit is described as pre-planned. In reality, it lands at one of the most volatile moments the region has seen in years. Behind the scenes, this is about far more than a routine port call. The docking comes amid rising regional tensions and growing assessments that the United States may be edging closer to direct action against Iran. Israeli security officials are closely tracking US military movements, viewing them as part of intensified US-Israeli coordination, both defensive and offensive, as the possibility of escalation looms. In recent weeks, Washington has quietly surged military assets into the Middle East, expanding firepower, missile defense, and naval presence. The message is unmistakable. President Donald Trump now has options, real, immediate options, should he choose to strike Iran, particularly as the Iranian regime continues its violent crackdown on protesters. For Israel, the stakes could not be higher. Security agencies are reportedly on heightened alert, preparing for scenarios that include Iranian retaliation. One of the most urgent concerns is ensuring early warning systems are ready to protect civilians if missiles are launched towards Israeli cities. The Iran question dominated discussions once again during the Israeli military's weekly security assessment in Tel Aviv, attended by senior commanders and top defense officials. A familiar meeting, but under increasingly unfamiliar pressure. While US warships regularly patrol the Red Sea, their arrival at Eilat is rare, and in this region, rarity often signals intent. For now, the destroyer sits docked. The weapons remain silent, but across the Middle East, allies, adversaries, and civilians alike are watching the same horizon, waiting to see whether this show of force is meant to deter war or prepare for it.
The Strait of Hormuz is narrow, shallow, and unforgiving. Nearly a fifth of the world's oil passes through this stretch of water. And now it's once again at the center of a high-stakes military standoff. As a U.S. carrier strike group moves closer, Iran is spotlighting a very different kind of threat. Small, stealthy, and brutally efficient. Meet the Zulfiqar-class ghost boat. At just 17 meters long, this craft is built to disappear. On the surface, it can sprint at nearly 40 knots, but when radar locks on, it does something unexpected. It briefly submerges, slipping below detection and buying precious seconds to reposition or strike. This dual-mode capability makes the Zulfiqar a nightmare in congested waters. Armed with two 324mm light torpedoes, it can target medium-sized warships. It carries 8 personnel and is designed not for solo missions, but for packs. Swarm tactics are the key. Individually, these boats are cheap. Together, they are lethal. In shallow waters like Hormuz, they can rush, scatter, disappear, and strike again, forcing billion-dollar warships into defensive chaos. Iran's doctrine is clear: turn America's technological advantage into a vulnerability. And the ghost boats are only one layer. Tehran now says it has inducted 1,000 drones into its army's combat structure. The announcement comes amid renewed warnings from U.S. President Donald Trump, who has threatened military action if Iran refuses to agree to a nuclear deal. Iran's army chief, Major General Amir Hatami, framed the move as preparation for what lies ahead. Drones meant to ensure rapid combat readiness and deliver what he called a crushing response to any aggressor. Washington warns Tehran against pursuing nuclear weapons. Tehran responds that its defense capabilities are not up for negotiation. The message is unmistakable. In a region where escalation takes minutes, not months, Iran is placing its bet on asymmetric war. Not columns of tanks, not massed formations, but ghost boats skimming beneath the radar, drones circling silently overhead, and the one weapon that never shows on a map, surprise. Because in the Strait of Hormuz, it isn't the loudest strike that kills first, it's the silence. And sometimes, silence is deadlier than firepower.
Our military is very, very strong. You may want to say something about the large fleet of ships that's heading over to the Middle East.
Well, Mr. President, you had to, like so many other cabinet members have referenced, rebuild the perception of America. And at the Department of War, that meant reestablishing deterrence. What happened in Afghanistan, what happened in Ukraine, a war that never would have occurred, what happened on October 7th in Israel, never would have happened under President Trump. So as a result, we're having to rebuild how our enemies perceive us. And when President Trump said, we're not getting a nuclear, Iran, you won't have a nuclear bomb, he meant it. And we sent those B-2s halfway around the world, and they never noticed. When he said, we're not going to tolerate trafficking drugs anymore in our hemisphere, we treat them like the Al-Qaeda of the Western Hemisphere, he meant it, and we're executing that. When you said, Mr. President, we're securing the border, the military was proud to do their part alongside Homeland Security to do that. Same thing with Iran right now, ensuring that they have all the options to make a deal. They should not pursue nuclear capabilities. We will be prepared to deliver whatever this president expects of the War Department, just like we did this month. No other military in the world could have executed the most sophisticated, powerful raid, not just in American history, I would say in world history. What those men did going downtown, another country, the most secure place in the most secure base in the middle of the night without anybody knowing until those simultaneous bombs dropped 3 minutes before the helicopters dropped. No other country could coordinate that. No other president would have been willing to empower those warriors that way to be that effective. And that sends a message to every capital around the world that when President Trump speaks, he means business, and we are reestablishing deterrence at the War Department, Mr. President.
Thank you.